It is combining the Joker, the Emperor, and now the Warrior.
I can't believe we've had all these off days and have yet to talk about this until now, but 2 weeks ago, Nikola Jokic held a release party, kind of a weird event, a release party to launch the first ever signature Joker 1s from 361. And D-Line, there's a lot to talk about.
Yes, as Adam pointed out, first off, we have the box. This belongs to our own Ryan Green, who attended the event and documented it so beautifully, as he does every event.
And purchase shoes.
And purchase the shoes. I didn't realize you could buy the shoes. I cannot believe I didn't go to this event. It's one of my greatest laments in life. But you've seen this perhaps online, this big, beautiful box that they created for the Joker 1s. This is meant to look like a pack of cards, if you can't tell. You have, obviously, it's emblazoned with a beautiful foil print of the Jokic logo, which the longer it's around, the more beautiful I find it. It is a very nice logo. It's done very well. And,
it is.
You know, this is sort of a psychedelic kind of font. It's
It is a little psychedelic.
Sort of an interesting choice here.
That is a psychedelic font.
I don't know that I would have picked that, but all the same, it's a very nice product. You can tell that they are very focused on making Nikola Jokic look his very best because they respect who he is as a player, which I appreciate. Nike, you can burn in hell.
It is true. They went all out on this, man. That's like, he's their signature guy.
They did. And so a couple things stuck out to me that I've not heard discussed when I first saw the silhouette and the design of this Joker 1 here that I don't
first go to the logo here. Yeah.
That I don't believe has been really talked about, and I don't even think was intentional. But when we first looked at the logo on the box, and I explained to you guys like how interesting it was to me culturally, because this is not what a Western version of a crown looks like.
Yeah.
And when I did a little deep diving, this like kind of slender, tall crown is a shape that exists in the Asian world. China, you know, I'm generalizing here, obviously, the same way you would with Europe.
Or the West, just West versus East. Yeah.
Yes. There's not a specific country that or heritage that I'm referencing here. So I thought that was interesting, but I love, as the deeper this goes on, the more meaning that gets poured into the idea that they turned the jester into the emperor. I love that thematically. I've not heard it talked about, but that to me is the story that's here, is that they took and kept the jester shape with the 3 points and then turned it into a crown.
Right.
So that's really cool.
It's a great
more elevated, more regal, literally.
But so here are some interesting things. I don't believe were intentional, but I see very clearly. So when I look at this, like, I've never seen a logo placement quite like what they've done here on the front toe of the shoe, where they have the Joker logo that then stretches down past the front of the toe, which is an interesting little touch that I've never seen before. So that, first and foremost, that's cool. That's like a unique thing for Nikola Jokic that he has and he has alone. But like, the more that I looked at this, like, I just see so much Asian influence in this shoe. It is crazy to me. And I love it in a sense because it's combining now 3 things. It is combining the Joker, the Emperor, and now the Warrior. And the Warrior is represented many, many ways in this. This is leather armor. This is samurai armor from sort of the medieval era. This is the way that, you know, in the Asian part of the world, they created armor. You can see these rivets, these leather ties, and the sort of the tiled paneling, how it goes down. Go back to the shoe and look at the side. Like, look at these rivets on the side.
Little silver
and
dots.
If you can see that the white in the back, those leather binding area, like, to me, I see that influence very, very clearly in this. And then the other thing is that if you look at this shoe with the way that they've treated that logo, Kale, do you have like the split? This is what
a ninja.
This is a ninja footwear. I mean, this is like a new updated version, but this split toe, you get that same look from the front of the shoe, intentionally or not. It looks like an Asian ninja slipper, along with samurai armor that goes around. The shape that is stitched into, or the pattern that is put into the padding around it. Kale, if you can bring up, like, I promised that they would say that this is a nod. This is Serbian. This is Serbian like folk,
Paisley.
folk heritage. This is like a folk and
Yeah.
folk imagery is like kind of, there's a lot of like similarities throughout the entire world, but this is like an Eastern European kind of look. If you go back to the side of the shoe, you can see some of these shapes and how they are baked in, or how they're sewn in there.
Yeah.
So I guarantee like that's an attempt to make a nod to the Serbian side of his culture, but it also looks to me like the way that the Asian world depicts clouds. Kale, I don't know if you could bring that. Like this kind of look, like these sort of like longer shapes. It's not a 1-to-1, but like I just saw that in the overall presentation. And so to me, it's like, this is a cool thing. And again, I don't know if this was intentional. You don't know how steeped you are in your culture until you try to recreate somebody else's culture through your eyes. Like, this is why like people mess up trying to make logos for other cities. This is like if you brought a Chinese person here and you gave them our Chinese food, they'd be like, what is this?
Right.
Why is this so Americanized? And
or if somebody just put 5280 in giant lettering on it.
So to me, it's like I look at this and I'm like, I think it's just there's so much going on that you don't even recognize. You just want to make them like a warrior type of design, and you draw upon these cultural things that are in the back of your mind and you use them, even though like in a lot of ways it's like doesn't make a lot of sense for these shoes to have a lot of these traits. But in the end, they're like cool. They're super interesting. They're super unique. I'm like you. When I first saw them on the court, I don't think they have a great court presence. But usually shoes that have great court presences look ridiculous off the court.
Yeah.
There's a subtlety here and sort of like an interesting new fresh take that I really appreciate. And the longer that I have time to sort of look at these, like the more I like them. And so in the end, I think they're really cool, but all of that jumped out to me, and I haven't heard anybody mention it.
Well, that was an awesome breakdown. You haven't heard anybody mention it because most people can't do that. I just go, that looks cool or it doesn't.
And to be honest with you, nobody's looking at or talking about these shoes, which is weird, in part because it's 361. It's funny because there's the bigwigs out there, that do the shoe culture thing. And even when this one drops, it's like there's no curiosity for any of this stuff. And it kind of drives me nuts in the way that it makes you think that the whole shoe industry and how it's discussed is such a political thing. But to me, it's a really fascinating shoe because it actually is pretty different from most basketball sneakers. It's a pretty far departure, I would say, from like your average new shoe. It is.
And then,
I love that it says Dreamcatcher on the tongue.
Yeah,
little nods.
To me, it's like that's cool, but it's like a little bit tacked on. Like they think they could have done a little bit more to bake that in, but anyway, so that I just wanted to give my breakdown of what I saw when I looked at the shoe.
The idea, though, man, of the jester becoming the king while also being a warrior.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that part of it. I think it's really, really cool.
It really, I mean, it's everything that you need in a marauding band. Yeah. Like you have your emperor, your guy to entertain, and also the guy to attack.
And that's Joker's story, and that's crystallizing more and more, right? And we know this, having covered him. Jovial, extreme little brother energy, just happy to be here. Court jester stuff. To
the evolution.
This is my domain. What is the responsibility of my reign? My duty to the realm, the domain. Like that's Jokic's thing, man. And he
cool. Is now the ninja emperor.
He's the ninja. Yeah, I think
we
all
ninja
saw that.
Emperor.
I can't believe we didn't pull the ninja emperor of pentacles.